Arlyn is on the brink of upheaval. For centuries, the clan struggled against giants until 400 years ago, when dragons crossed the Great Sea, forcing them to unite and build the 10 Bastions. As the threat faded, the clans fractured into the 10 kingdoms, and all but the last bastion were abandoned. As ancient calamities stir and darkness rises in the east, my 4 champions must rise up to unite the kingdoms, restore the bastions, uncover their secrets, and stand against this darkness as a declaration of war.
Calagon Dör. I will discover the secrets of my lineage and cement my legacy as one of the greatest adventurers of all time.
Cleave still in here. The migration of the dragons forced the migration of peoples and beasts, which brings death. We're all invasive species now. I won't let us become extinct ones.
The name's Rodrick Elwood, the voice of this generation, and the greatest performer in the world. Oh, and you should see me with a bow.
And I, Arlyn Dursalai, searching for my father's sword, Trident, to bring justice to these lands. Together, we are the 4 Horsemen.
And this is Divine Inspiration.
Hello, welcome together, everyone. Get cozy and enjoy. Woo! We made it. And here we go. So with that, yes! Nick even had a die prepared for me. That was great. Menaces. This is the real reason why there's turmoil in the 4 Horsemen.
Hey, that was the most together
That was good.
we've
Yeah,
been
that
on
was
a
solid.
plan since the beginning.
We worked well. We didn't have to roll a die though, so that's fine.
That is true.
Oh man, they're all gonna die now.
Oh, man.
Speaking of dying.
So, with that, I mean, yeah, get cozy, guys. We're here. We made it. The peoples are ready. Clearly,
Yep.
they're energized. They've shown us that they can work well together. But let's
We're not
see
together.
how they do individually. As last we left off, the 4 Horsemen, with tensions rising, especially with both Rodrick and Calagon. As now Rodrick, with his new hood and his new form, if you will, kind of misshapen and a little disfigured in relation to how he would like to be in this current moment.
Well, explain the kind of hood it is. I just don't want to give anybody weird impressions.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful hood. That's all that they need to know. You know, he's a very bright man. Very flamboyant with a very nice hood. It's got, eye hole slits, of course.
It's got a weird eye hole.
I might go back on that.
No, it's canon now.
Yeah,
now it's gotta be.
turn around on your
Now
head.
he's gotta go back on it in
realized
story.
how incredibly silly it looked after the fact.
Unfortunately, the week prior, I actually described almost the exact same thing, which he almost got a point of inspiration for had he told me that he was actually trying to model death, as Rodrick had just faced death, and with it, the evil within himself. Having seen a very unfortunately both robed and hooded form of himself, he was able to overcome death and fight back to life, to rejoin the 4 Horsemen once again. But unfortunately, didn't mean he was quite at peace. And so, now, Arlyn with his new weapon, Rodrick with his new form, Calagon with his newfound emptiness, and Cleave with, I'll say, his newfound lack of sleep. As the rest were all able to level up and rest up, Cleave, unfortunately, found himself without even a moment's sleep, trying to do his best to watch over his friends as they did their best at resting up for themselves. They were each able to find their way into the ziggurat, this first bastion within their journey. And in doing so, they came across a series of inscriptions that helped to guide them through just what this bastion had in store for them. And they learned quickly that a bastion isn't simply a bastion because it's able to defend in some simple way against dragons, but rather that a bastion is made up of multiple parts. And with that, it is a building, a dreadnought. It has a key of some sort, and it has a few other minor components that they've yet to see or hear too much about, specifically including a place of power. And now, as they've entered this bastion for the first time, each of them, having read the inscriptions, were given the option to choose a trial of their own to potentially overcome. Should they overcome these trials, the instructions said that they might be able to choose a new bastion guardian, and or potentially take that role on for themselves, or at least for one of them. So, with that, I believe Cleave decided to take on the water trial.
Yep.
Calagon, the earth trial. Arlyn, the trial of ether.
Unfortunately.
And Rodrick, ironically enough, the trial by fire.
Nice.
And
Great
so,
song.
I request a trial by combat.
as we pick back up here, I'm going to go ahead and simply ask one thing of you lot. Would you all please go ahead and roll for initiative?
Oh no.
Oh, already.
Hold up, let me get my bad dice.
This is
I
what we
wanted to go
came here
last.
for, boys. Nice.
I guess I'll take that.
Okay.
This is giving me a hard time.
Yes!
I don't want to roll high because I feel like this is for like who goes first.
All right.
I
Anyone
don't wanna
25
go
to
for it.
20?
Is this gonna be
Okay.
the same order always?
15 to 20-ish? What's your initiative?
Oh, I got a 17.
Ah,
Sorry, I
okay.
didn't know if that mattered.
Roll
17.
for once?
That's a good old Calagon. All right. Who thinks they're the next highest? Let's just do that.
13.
Okay, there you go.
13. All right. No one's calling it out, so 13 goes to Arlyn. Next.
9.
He's not spoken otherwise. There it is.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
We
There's
did it.
there's a game that's played kind of like this, The Mind.
Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed that for some reason.
Happy about that roll.
What? No.
Why?
I'm super happy about the lowest roll, so you go last.
Yep. I did not want to go first.
Now, last
Please,
week we got to see a little bit about what each of these things had in store for them, each of these trials. But this time, we're going to start, of course, with Calagon.
I was really hoping
Yes!
to be first.
No, I was
so
like,
bad.
please, God, don't
Come
let
on,
him flip it.
man.
That would have been so
I
bad.
did not want to go first.
I really wanted you to go first.
Why did you want him to go first?
Because it gives
His is the most
you
clear,
less time
right?
to practice Moncala.
Mine
He's been
seems
practicing.
clear.
Yours is the most clear out of all of them.
It seems so.
I think so.
Is he allowed to
I
call
think
them
mine's just a fight,
lifelines?
so that's pretty good.
I mean, you guys can still talk amongst yourselves because realistically, these are great, powerful heroes who have intelligence beyond us all. And
Are we?
Calagon's a very smart guy. So
And
I mean,
are we all
you
doing
guys
these
can-
at the same time, or
You
are
guys
we
are doing these at the same time in game.
horrifying?
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna reread first a little bit about the description towards these trials, and then a little bit specifically towards now the first trial, that is Earth. So, let's see. Simply choose your trial by selecting the corresponding symbol on the corresponding wall. You cannot continue below until each has been completed, and once booted from a floor, you cannot return. This will continue to be the case on lower floors. You will no longer get a second chance. Guardians bear a great responsibility. As such, only one will be allowed to enter each trial at a time. Overcome each as each is required to transform them into something greater within yourself. The Green Guardian. And here, in Earth, having stepped foot now into the arid chamber, you can feel as everything dries out around you, including your very own skin, and the stone walls close again behind you. that had just revealed themselves to you. In front of you, you see this elongated trough filled with sand, and across, one very much like it. Between the two troughs, you can see a series of smaller bowls or divots carved out into the ground, most of them seemingly empty. But the, I'll say, lower 6 here seem to in fact be filled with sand that almost seems to blend in, and the closer you look, the more you realize that they are in fact stones. Carved around the elongated eastern pit closest to you are the words, "Earth is strong, unmoving, and simple. You must be stronger while remaining steadfast in the sand. Guardians must be able to stay in one place to defend. Move, and you fail. Guardians must also be able to attack while guarding their post. If the golems reach the other side, you've already failed in one respect. Once this occurs, if you leave your post, you may save yourself, but you will have killed your chances of becoming something greater. Stepping in means stepping up. To guard is to destroy. Be prepared." And along the western pit are the words, "The path by which you travel may not always be seen, but change requires trust. Dig deep and you will find what you seek for that which you can become, once you have overcome the trial in full."
Okay. Quick, as soon as I step in and look around, a lot of loose stones, and is there any, like, what's the source of light?
Everything around you seems like it is being lit up by cracks from the walls, as though there is light emanating from outside, despite the fact that the cracks themselves don't look large enough to actually show through.
Wow. So there is a roof.
Yes.
How tall?
It's about 25 feet tall from where you're at
25
currently.
feet tall. Okay. All right, and I can't move, so I'm not gonna move. I'm just gonna wait, see to see what happens.
Okay. As you stand still and look about, nothing seems to occur in that moment.
Nothing happens, huh? Okay. All right. Well then, how many stones are in the? I guess I'm gonna take a step forward towards the trough. And do I see any stones in those bowls with the sand?
In the bowls, there are 6 major heaps of stones, but only on the, I'll say, south side. The northern bowls don't have anything in them, completely barren.
Okay, so it's not Mancala. That starts with. It starts with 4. No, it starts with 4 in all of them. In Mancala, when you start the game, right? It starts with 4 in each
I think
thing.
so, yeah.
This guy's been studying for this. This is
He's been
hilarious.
playing
I love
Mancala all week.
Maybe you walk into a halfway played Mancala game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking.
be.
So, I guess I'm gonna walk. I don't want to go into the trough, so I'm gonna walk around to the south side and inspect the bowls further.
Okay. Upon closer inspection, it looks to you that each of these stones probably individually weighs at least 300 pounds.
Oh wow.
Sheesh.
These are not small stones.
Cool.
And these bowls, while from the distance that you were at just a moment ago seem almost flat, there is some aspect of camouflage to them where the dirt and the sand that kind of flew up when you first entered seem to kind of hide just how large and just how deep some of these things really are.
Okay. All right. So now I'm just confused. So
And
there's 6 heaps of stone in the southern bowls that are equivalent to about 300 pounds roundabout.
Roundabout.
Cool.
Per stone in a heap of stones.
Correct.
Yeah. That's intense. Guess, and I don't see anything in the troughs. It's just dirt.
Only within the lower 6 troughs are those stones, but otherwise it's
No,
just...
in the troughs.
Oh,
on
in the
side. Yeah.
side troughs. That is almost like a sandbox, essentially. This is the one place where everything is completely loose and specifically soft.
Yeah, man. I'm at a loss here. I assumed something would have happened when I walked in, but apparently I have to trigger something. So let's. I can't move the stone. I'm gonna. I'm gonna use mold earth and try to like dig a little bit of a hole in the sand. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, guys. I told you I redid my spells. Yeah, and then the fact that I got earth was kind of convenient for right now.
Okay.
We'll see, because I can't move 300-pound objects, but
Are we allowed to discuss these amongst ourselves, or is it just like Nick's
I don't think
trying
you're
This
able to help me.
is- I was gonna say, this
Yeah.
is his trial for the time being.
Yeah.
Got it.
But
Are
we're
you
all
trying
friends
to,
here,
what
you
is
know.
the goal and what you're trying to,
You know.
to shape out here?
Just kind of like dig, just
Okay.
move the earth around.
As
to
you
dig
start
into
kind
it,
of
yeah.
separating, you watch as now the sand continues to kind of press off to the side and going deeper and deeper with each stroke. You kind of start pushing it aside, and you can tell that it's not shallow.
Okay. And I'm gonna take a tiny pebble, tiny rock, throw it in there,
Okay.
just to see if there's any trigger. Nothing happens.
Nothing.
Okay, jump. I'm gonna walk in the thing and
Okay.
keep moving it, digging until.
And as you kind of step in and you lean over and you kind of hands down, you feel as the entire room begins to shake.
Thank goodness. Golly. This is why I didn't want to go first, guys.
As the stones now start to come together and shape one over the next, forming 6 separate constructs. Standing before you are massive stone golems in each of these troughs.
So the passage said something about escaping if I need to. I don't see any form after the stone wall came back, right, of escape.
The stone wall is currently sealed up. There are no
25 feet tall
doorways around here
walls
that
and
you've
roofs.
seen
Yeah.
since that
All right, here we go.
since that closed up.
Here we go. Let's
With
see
that,
what happens.
as now each of these stone golems now starts to take shape, you watch as in formation they all just and stomp their feet, and each turn directly faced your way.
Yeah. And I'm in
And-
the
It's
pit, right?
As one follows the next, you watch now as they each start reaching their feet upward. With a 5 on initiative, Calagon, you are up first.
I'm up first. Cool. First thing I'm gonna do is let's see. I'm going to target the one nearest to me.
Okay.
Would I be able to mold earth in a way to where it will trip, or I know it helps with difficult terrain, but would I be able to create something that would possibly trip this?
I would say you definitely have to try it in
Yeah,
order to find
okay.
out, unless it
I'm gonna do that
specifically
then.
states.
First thing
Any
I'm
way to
gonna
do
do
so.
is. And how far away is he from me? Let me see that first. He's not that far away. Nope. First thing I'm doing is gonna be
I guess I can rename these for your sake here.
I'm gonna do breath weapon. So
Okay.
First thing because he's close, and that's a 15-foot cone. So dex save of 12.
Fair enough. It does not succeed.
Sweet. So 1d10 of damage. So 4.
Okay. So 4 damage coming to how many
14
of
or
these?
15 feet cone towards the.
Let me see. Okay, so they can hit the first 2 right off the bat right there.
Perfect.
And that's, you said 3 points of damage?
4.
4 points of damage.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm hitting hard today, so let's go.
Easy enough.
I can't move, so yeah, I can't move, and they started pretty dang close. So that's all I'm gonna be able to do for now.
Okay. Simple enough.
Yep.
Well then,
Okay.
on their turn, you watch as each of them now in turn begins to shift. As one after the next, they raise a leg and simply step forward. Calagon, it's your turn.
The ones I hit, do they look any different than?
They do give off some amount of rubble upon impact, and you do notice that the forms of the rocks that kind of almost seem to float together initially to attach themselves at what you could consider the joint do seem to blow back for a moment and have to kind of realign themselves as they now
So they
start
didn't
stepping
restructure.
forward.
They look somewhat like they've been hit by something.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm gonna go magic missile, and I'm gonna shoot that at a level 1.
Okay.
And I want to go for the legs of the ones in front of me.
So towards both of these first 2 still?
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically legs. Obviously 2 on one of them and then 1 on the other.
Okay.
But I'd like to hit 2 on the one on the right, both legs. The one on the left, just a leg, so it would like fall into the one that if possible.
Fantastic. Okay. Go ahead and
go.
roll damage.
Roll damage. So I'm gonna do it one at a time. All right. Well, the one on the right is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
5. Okay.
and the one on the left, we're going 2.
2 points of damage. Okay.
Straight to that kneecap, or earth cap.
Well, technically it is a knee.
All right.
Tectonic plate.
Well,
over
then you do watch as different smaller pieces are just starting to just blast off of each of them. It's not enough to cripple them, despite their enormous weight, obviously. And watching as they go, you do notice that from the one on the right, you do blow out this small little rock that is kind of conjoining the leg, and yet as it drops down and lands on another, it continues walking as though nothing had happened.
Sheesh, bro.
And with that, they continue.
Oh, so it's walking around, not towards me. Oh.
And that's their turn. Calagon, you're up.
I don't like this, dude. 10 hours of Mancala for this.
So good.
Okay. You know, I'm kind of at a loss here. 'Cause I can't move. It specifically says I can't move. You must be able to stay in one place to defend. Move and you fail, so I have to stay there. Oh my gosh, dude. Do I just keep hitting now? Since there's some tactic.
I want to speak so bad.
What is the tactic?
I want to speak so bad.
What you got? It's your turn.
Think Mancala. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, so they all need to go to the other side. But
That's all I'm gonna say.
how am I going to get these giant stone golems to the other side? Because they all are how much? Like 800 pounds.
They seem like they would be ridiculously
Okay,
heavy.
seem like. I've seen that's the second time you said seem like.
You've not lifted one, I mean.
Hard
to say technically.
Well then. Oh, this is such boring content when you just sit here and say for 10 minutes.
It's good that people get to stress with you.
Move along the ground and deposit 5 feet away. Move doesn't have force. I got no clue, guys. I really don't. I have no idea. I think Mancala. Okay, they need to get to the other side. How am I going to get there? I don't have a way. I'm not. Yeah. So, Calagon right now doesn't care right now, I guess. So, we'll go with a firebolt.
Okay. Towards which golem here?
Now, firebolt can hit pretty far away, so I'm just going to shoot it at the. I'll shoot at the first one still that I shot.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, roll to hit.
It doesn't hit. 7.
7? Yeah. Unfortunately, it literally, as though each of these is moving, it seems to be split up between them as the first one almost kind of like instinctively over its shoulder pulls an arm up, blocking a portion of it as it now kind of sputters out and barely just kind of hits and just kind of sizzles on the next. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
I'm going to say, I don't understand!
Very good.
That
And
ends
with
my
that,
turn.
you hear a loud crashing as once more each one begins stepping forward, their limbs extending far beyond what they should be able to from what is actually properly attached, but you can tell that there is some sort of ethereal force holding each of them together. And with that, their turn is over.
I hate this. Manny, tell me telepathically. Guys!
Ask Arendor. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. So I guess.
I just want to say out loud that I'm mad that the descriptions for these rooms are so long and we still don't know what to do. there's so much to
Thing is,
read.
I
have no
think-
idea.
I think
Allow
I
me
know
to
what to
reread
do.
this
And
one.
if I'm correct, it's actually really simple but really difficult to do at the same time. It's really simple to understand the task, but it's
What do you think it
difficult
is?
to do. I think they're obviously trying to get into the other pit. They're making their way around, right, to get into the other pit. And as the guardian, you must protect the post. So you need to just kill them. That's what I think. You need to stop them from getting to the other pit as hard as you can before they get to the other pit. And because if you listen to the inscription, it says the guardian must be able to protect without leaving post.
So what I thought is they were coming at me.
I thought so
first.
too, until they
I thought
turned
they were
around and I was like, it's
Yeah.
freaking Mancala.
So,
they're
again-
walking around trying to get to the other one so the other one gets points. You know, they're not trying to give you points, they're trying to get their points.
Yeah, gotcha.
Fantastic.
You know, like that's literally what I'm thinking in my head. I don't know if I'm right, guys. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
right.
Remember
but it
this,
makes
guys.
sense to me.
It
Earth
does
is
make sense.
strong, unmoving, and simple. You must be stronger while remaining steadfast in the sand.
Bro, it's
Guardians must be able to stay in one place to defend. Move and you fail. Guardians must also be able to attack while guarding their post. If the golems reach the other side, you've already failed in one respect.
Okay.
Once
In
this
one
occurs, if you leave your post, you may save yourself, but you will have killed your chances of becoming something greater. Stepping in means stepping up. To guard is to destroy. Be prepared.
Yep.
It's very self-explanatory now that I think I know what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
So I thought
Kind
it
of my
was.
guess too, but I still don't fully understand. Maybe.
Just stop their tracks.
I
Stop their
guess.
tracks. Protect the post.
If you kill them, are you supposed to put their rocks into your?
So this is what I'm gonna
I
do.
guess so. Well, we haven't killed one. We don't know what's gonna happen.
This
if
is
one
what I'm
dies.
gonna do because I cannot kill one of these. I mean, I could
That's the other
try.
problem. Yeah.
I could maybe kill one, but the fact I wouldn't be able to stop all of them. So I'm gonna try something, and I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna use Mold Earth to disguise the next set of bull that they're supposed to go to where it's like not there anymore, so that they have no place to go next.
Ooh.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
Very good. Okay.
I mean, but it's this, so it's probably gonna go there anyway. I mean, because it's an illusion.
It's possible.
I have no idea.
it's not technically an illusion. You are doing the
there's-
thing.
well,
yeah.
Wait, is the bull
Yeah.
made out of earth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, you're literally just
Filling
making
it.
the next one disappear.
Make a deception check for me.
Or it can make like a Candyland game
That's
and
what
just
I was
have
gonna
them
say.
move around.
I was trying not to
To
say.
yours.
Oh my gosh.
What would you like to do?
What would I like to do?
I don't know.
This is better when we're all together. I love you guys. Let's see. I think we'll start with that one. We'll start with the hide it, and then the next one we'll try something different.
Okay.
You said roll deception.
Yeah, roll deception.
Come on, I need high rolls here tonight. Come on.
How's your charisma?
Deception.
Hey, they're a pile of rocks. If they're not dumb as rocks, I'll be
8.
disappointed.
Fantastic. And you kind of
Come on.
start to lay the groundwork here, and filling this bowl now using the rocks around. You recognize the fact that the rubble doesn't quite fill every crack immediately, and it would require a little bit more to be able to try to flatten it out to make it look just right. As now, once more, they start to step forward, closer, closer, towards their next goal.
Okay, so not completely filled is hard to do, but to make a shallow one looks just like it. Maybe that's not so hard.
I have 2 options here. I can try to make one look just like him, but I would still have to fill one. I just lost my chance just there, pretty much.
I don't think
because
you
I
would.
could have done one a little bit further ahead, and had more time to fill it. So I can like go to the one ahead and take more time to fill it. But
No, but then you run the risk of them already getting into their
let me see here.
hole by the time you try it.
I can't even go that far with Mold Earth anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy how large this room actually is already. What?
Yeah, simple. So simple.
You think you're allowed to move within the Moncala hole at least? Like you're still you still kept your place?
Nah, I think the one thing that was like super like made sense.
I love being a DM sometimes, guys.
Yeah, this sucks, dude. Alright, well, how about this? Alright, dude. Whatever. Magic missile, level 1, going at the hole that they're about to step to. I'm just gonna aim all 3 at the hole to just blow it up. To just completely destroy their path. I'm trying to game the game here.
Okay.
They automatically hit, so I'll roll damage here on all these.
Tristan's like, y'all are feeling so bad.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a crater now. It's going to capture them.
It does look like you're able to start kind of breaking up some of the actual like earth around this semi-spherical bowl here, and as it starts to crumble, you watch now as the stone golem in front of it looks down on it and then steps right into it.
Cool. This was fun, guys. Alright. Yeah, I've exhausted everything. I wish I was smarter earlier. That's really all I could say.
What have you got?
Thanks.
Oh, no, I'm just curious to see what it is that comes to mind next.
Man, the only way I could get there is if I could like fly or something. Wouldn't that be crazy if I could fly? That'd be so fun. I'm gonna try to harness my inner Barry.
Alright. Well,
Rodrick tried
you're
that
up.
in the beginning.
I'm
Wasn't
gonna
a pretty
take
sight.
this gem out that I previously spoke of,
Nice.
and
Little berry gem.
in the depressing state that I'm in, I'm just gonna say, Barry, just help me out with this one.
So you hold it in your hand and you start to speak on it. There's this moment of like dull heartbreak. And there's almost this brief second where your mind starts to play tricks on you, remembering that it almost looked like it was cracking when you first received it, when Barry had first come from it, like cracking from a shell. And as you hold it in your hand, you look on and you watch now as instead this crack that had been there previously starts to glow and then seal up. As you hold it in your hand, you watch as this dull violet glow starts to pulse between your fingers.
It's Dragon Ball Z it. Come on! Magic missile level 2
Nice!
to the golem that's about to get into that.
So
thing.
into like the front golem essentially?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's see it.
4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay. As you now just look to this energy and start to think on it, looking forward and seeing how far along this creature has come, you just kind of... And sending your hand forward, you watch now as from between each of these fingers, just these bolts start to fly out. And with now purple energy instead, you just... And as each of them crashes into it, you watch now as different stones start flying, as though the golem's very limbs now are just falling off of its body. And with its one final limb, you watch now as it drags itself in a desperate attempt to move forward one more time.
Alright, so like I said, even if I get this one, I won't be able to. How far am I from the one in front of me?
From the one in front of you,
Yeah.
you're like not even 10 feet.
Yeah. No, I can't move.
Can somebody with more testosterone
You're technically
than me open this
5
ring?
feet.
Thank you.
Come on, you're the orc.
That was
Yeah,
really
only
just
that-
to
only
give
that was the
Calagon his
trial.
own inspiration.
I want to tip him over like dominoes, but I don't think I'll be able to knock that one over. So I guess we'll go one more time and hit that last guy
Okay.
for the last bit. Now, if I use this gem to do firebolt, what is the? Let me see. Where is it? Equipment. Power gem. Is it a +5 or something you said?
I hadn't even considered the difference between your options, but
Yeah, it's
you
a
would
+5.
have to then cast it into that and then use it as its own action
Gotcha.
separately.
Okay, so this would just be a. Well, then I have nothing to lose, so I'm not gonna go with the firebolt. Then I'm gonna go with, since he looks like he's possibly done, I'm gonna go with magic missile again,
Okay.
and I'll do level 1 because
Simple.
for some reason,
Nah, you got this.
if I get this, then I have at least a little bit more time, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, that'll buy you around if you get him.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10. I'll tell you what. What is the lowest die you rolled?
2.
A 2? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and scrap that one then for you. As now that first golem just crumbles to pieces.
Okay.
And you can put it towards the other.
So then the other one goes towards
And
the other guy.
then-
Gotcha.
yeah.
So I'll re-roll that one. 4 or 5 technically. Yeah, 5.
5 points of damage?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
it's a +1.
Sweet.
Cool. So now I saw. Does that fill in the whole? Does that fill in the hole? Does it disguise the hole?
It looks how it looked at the start. As you now just send it crumbling to pieces, you can see where it starts to just kind of fall back into place. And it doesn't look as destroyed, like shattered, as you would expect from the force of the blast, but rather it looks almost pristine, as though putting together a puzzle and then just taking it apart again. And each of the pieces were exactly as they looked just moments prior within the bowls just below. And yet, as they do, you watch now as what was the head of this golem
Great.
starts to just kind of roll atop the rest of the pieces and slowly rolls its way out into the center of this board, if you will. And it starts rolling closer and closer and closer to you. Until eventually it just rolls into your side beside you.
Told you.
Oh
It's
my
Mancala.
gosh.
That's the game.
I'm sad it's not literally Mancala
yeah,
tactics,
you
but
just gotta kill him.
but okay, conceptually it's like
That's hilarious.
The only issue is so many turns wasted, and they're so close.
And
no,
as
hours wasted actually learning Mancala, but not wasted. It's a great game.
No, it's the concept of the game. It's still a great game.
as now these golems look toward their fallen friend, you watch as they all look down, and then 4 out of the 5 of them turn to face you as this head begins to roll your way. And instead, the very front golem leans over, grabbing the pieces from beside and tossing them into the trough next to it.
Do I get an extra
Instead.
attack while they're doing this?
And that is instead their turn.
Oh, cool. Perfect. I'm gonna attack.
Oh.
I'm gonna attack the guy bending over.
So the one in the front leans into the hole in front of him, but then steps back into his own hole.
So
He's
he
like
leans
getting
into
his
it
path.
to
Rubble as an
clear
action.
the rubble,
To clear the
So
rubble,
he can
yeah.
and then
forward.
toss
Then
it to
just- but then he
the
stays where he
next
was.
one, and then
Yeah.
stays where he is.
You gotta clear it as an action. Got it.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Magic missile, level 2, baby. It's the last
You're
level
gonna
2 spell I
run
got.
out of these so fast.
What else am
Okay.
I supposed to do?
I know. What happens on level 2 magic missile?
It's just an extra
Extra
one.
hit?
Yeah, extra missiles.
Still very useful.
It's super
Come on,
useful.
straight forwards.
Go as hard as you can. Give yourself
3,
a little bit
4, 5,
more
6, 7,
time.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12 points of damage. That's pretty darn good, though.
Yeah, pretty darn good.
Okay.
Not good enough. He's already hurt, remember? I'm
He
sure you
is
do.
hurt. I am tracking.
Obviously.
And it is a very, very similar look to the last one. As now, once again, you watch as limbs start flying. But instead, rather than just an arm left, you watch as now just 3 of its limbs fly off, and it just kind of uses the one leg, and leaning over to counterbalance its lack of limbs, it instead now, on one leg, just turns back towards its goal, and just with one big hop into the final trough, into that final
You can
divot.
still make it, bro.
I cannot. But I'm going to close my eyes in anger and distraughtness. And I'm going to try to speak to Arendor in the final seconds and say, you said that we were here for a reason. If there's any time for you to come and help, it would be now. And firebolt towards the guy about to jump in.
Okay.
Yeah. 12. That's 16.
16? Yeah, that'll hit.
Cool. Cool. Now let's get him. Let's get him. 5.
5 points of damage?
Please.
Okay. Then you watch now as you just send out one more pulse of energy, just red hot burning from between your fingers. And as you send it off, you watch as it crashes into this golem. And as it's now kind of balancing on its leg, clearly looking to move forward, you watch as you strike. And as it starts falling forward. And crashing down before it, you watch as the head stops just before that trough.
Oh, man.
And the rest falls now further deeper into the hole in which it was just standing, as the head now begins to roll.
Whoa.
Closer
Okay.
and closer. Closer to you.
Getting somewhere.
Okay. Now this is where. Oh, jeez, dude.
Yeah, now we're out of spells, but it went okay in the beginning. That's
Yeah, well, this is where it gets to the point where it says, if the golems reach the other side, you have already failed in one respect. So does that mean one golem and it's over, or do I just have to win? Do I have to have more than the other
maybe.
side?
I think there's more than the other
So then I'm not gonna attack the one in the front.
Cut your losses a little bit.
I am going to go and attack the second to last one, because all I need is,
If you get half of them.
if I get one more, that's half, right? So all I need is 2. So I'm going to try to attack the second to last guy. Jeez. All right, yeah, I'm going to go, because this is their cleaning up time, right? This is their picking up the guy time.
Seems
hope
to be
so.
the case.
I'm running the show now, Tristan.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
sit
for sure.
back. I got this. I learned the rules of the board
I'm
game.
running this show now.
I've played so much Moncala.
It's our new family game.
19.
19 hit? Yep.
Yeah,
that for sure hits.
And then I thought it was a 5, but it was a 15. So I was
That's
about to be
Firebolt?
really mad. Yeah, more fast.
All you got left?
No, not all I have left, but 10.
10 points
I
of
got
damage.
so upset for a second.
Okay. And
I
that's
saw
on
2
the
It says
zeros.
0,
I'm
but
like,
it's not a 0. It's a 10.
That's on the last one, right? The one
That's
closest
second
to
to
you?
last.
Oh, second to last. Okay.
yeah.
Stalling that
So I need
last
one more to tie, technically, 2 more to win. So I think I have enough time to beat this one.
Very
and then
good.
Possibly the last one.
Okay. As predicted, the golem at the head of the line just grabs rubble and starts lobbing it into one of these circular bowls beside it. And giving you an opportunity to make your move in this time.
Sweet. Yeah, I think I'll go magic missile now.
Okay.
Oh, you slapped magic resistance.
Yeah, I have 2 level 1s, so
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay,
use
okay,
one.
okay.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's good.
One magic missile towards the one that I just attacked. I'm gonna do all 3.
Where's this mic
4,
going through, though?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to that second to last guy.
Okay. It is very injured, and yet it has small little nubs of each limb that it uses to just slowly
Okay.
start moving, waddling its way into the next.
I gotta cut my losses here. We're gonna go with the rolls later, and I'm gonna go with magic missile. 1 at a time this time, very cautiously.
Very good.
So,
Smart.
3.
3 points of damage coming towards that first one.
The second
The-
to
Or
last.
to the second
second
to
to
last,
last
one. Okay,
rather,
yeah.
yeah. It does good damage, and it is clearly injured, but not quite enough
3
to finish
more?
it off. That, however,
Cool.
is
All right.
enough.
So then I have 1 more 4 going to the one behind it before he starts to pick up the trash.
Okay.
Nice. All right, I think that we're
It's
getting
okay.
we're
We're
getting
getting
good
there.
strategy here.
We're getting
That's
there.
great.
We're getting something.
We're gonna win
I
something.
still hate that
We're
I
getting
went
something,
first,
boys.
though. Who knows? If that first golem goes and then it's all over, who knows what
As
happens.
now, each of these golems turns to you for a brief moment, watching as their friend's head rolls with it. Unfortunately, while the one in the back leans over to start clearing debris, the first 2 turn back around and continue their trek forward. As now each of them takes one step forward into the following troughs. And as the one does so, you can see that now standing face to face from a distance, looking you dead in your eye,
You're gonna
this
fight.
stone golem takes a step outside the trough
You're gonna
for the
fight.
first time, and it starts sprinting at you.
Let's go.
Calagon Dör, you're up.
Hold the line. Keep doing what you're doing.
How many shots can I get off before this guy gets
Actually,
it?
no. Go for this one.
Um,
Because the other one still has to move the other things ahead of itself.
And that one would have, unfortunately, now tossed what was in front of that, but that is that one's turn.
okay. Now this is where the whole
This is where the real challenge comes in.
Yikes! Win the game, defeat the monster.
And basically said best defense is a good offense, right? I mean,
There you go.
here you go.
Now there's a distraction in the way with no more spells, basically.
This is the real
and this is a
decision-making.
brand new. He's not been hit. And I got another one coming.
I mean, yeah, the one that's sprinting your way seems untouched.
Yeah,
As
and
does
I
the
got
next in
another
line.
one coming. Yeah. Well, we tried, guys.
Hold monster. Just kidding.
No. What about the whole? Can I try to trip the one running? Again, is
You
it?
can always
How
try
far
to
is it again?
Do whatever you'd like.
How far is that one?
This one is currently 35 feet from you.
So 30 feet away is my distance. What? You think I should just attack? Huh?
You gotta just beat him up. You gotta fight.
There's no way I
It's gonna
can.
take him 2 turns to get to you. That's about how long it's been taking you to take him out.
It's gonna take him 2 turns to get to me. He's sprinting at me.
Yeah, so he sprinted, only got that far. That means he has to do a whole other dash action just to get close to you and then attack.
So,
This is your only chance.
all right, yeah, sure, all right. I hear Cleave's voice in my head. Just do it. Okay.
Just do it!
All right, magic missile to the one that's picking up the stuff. I'm gonna just fearlessly attack this guy.
Fire.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
How much you putting
yeah.
out?
Come on,
your
4.
dreams
Now
be
taking
dreams.
advantage of the one golem that doesn't seem to be paying attention.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 points of
He
damage.
keeps getting crazy spreads. Just like 1s and
Yeah.
4s, just like...
Okay.
That's my last magic missile.
You see now that it is cracked along its torso in part, and smaller bits of rubble have now shot off. It is undoubtedly bloodied, but certainly not out of the fight just yet.
Lovely.
As now, these golems are going to take their rotation.
Oh no.
And let me see just how far it can get.
This is it, guys. This roll right here.
Unless part of his movement was going into the hole. Maybe I might have done that wrong there.
Okay.
Technically, yeah. Or maybe.
So, as now these golems start
You know what
to
I mean?
stomp forward, one of them stepping forward in line just as you would expect, and now a second turning and stepping out of the trough and starting its turn,
That is tough.
just running directly at you as this first in line gets pretty close, and yet before within your reach, you watch as it pulls back an arm,
It's gonna throw something.
and it just pulls back and flings its arm overhead as now you see these massive boulders coming to strike directly at your face from overhead. Calagon. That's going to be a 24 to hit.
Ah.
Goodness, come
I'm
on.
going to. Yeah, right. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that doubles my armor class, so that hits pretty hard. Is that something? If it doubles, is that
Wow, if only, that'd be great. No, this one's pretty straightforward. I'll ask you, would you like me to roll for it?
Or take average? Is that the option?
Yeah.
Either take average damage or have him roll for the actual dice.
do you
Meaning, you could get
I feel like
really lucky, or the way Tristan rolls, you're gonna.
Well, maybe
instant
with the
death.
slightly higher HP we have now, I feel like if we were still level 2, I'd be like, dude, the average is gonna get you no matter what. You might as well just take your chances. But
Yeah.
I have no idea at this level.
20?
20. Yeah, you know.
I'm giving you full freedom here.
So, not the average is what you're thinking?
I don't know. this is my
decision this session is
my
fantastic.
genuine guess
How
is
is that
that
just
it would deal. The average would
broken?
be like something like 15 or something.
Yeah.
And if you let him roll, there's a chance he rolls like up to 20. That's my guess. Or like or past 20. You know what I mean? Like high enough that it takes you out in one shot. I don't know that though.
Say, let them roll, boys.
Let him roll. All right.
Let them roll.
All right. It's going to be 2d8 plus 5 here. First
That was
is
pretty
a
close to
6,
Yeah. Was it exactly 15 as the average?
14. The next
14?
is a
I was
1.
Sweet.
nice.
So that totals out. So that's 7 plus 5, so that's 12 points
All right.
of damage coming your way, bludgeoning, as now this massive stone just collides into your chest. However,
2 points in the black. That's pretty good.
normally there would be a second attack with this. Instead, I have altered the stat blocks just slightly to deal less damage. However, Calagon, would you go ahead and please make a strength saving throw for me to please
Did not
stay in
move?
place?
Oh no!
No,
Come
that's
on,
so-
they're cheaters.
Wait,
They're not gonna sumo you.
strength for Calagon.
Come on, man.
We're done. It's over.
This side of the table just loves.
I have a -1 strength saving
So you rolled a
modifier,
0.
and I rolled a nat 1.
So you rolled a 0.
I flew across the arena, apparently.
As now, slamming down into him, you watch as this massive boulder just kind of knocks into like the side of like your shoulder and face, and as you start to kind of go dizzy in this brief moment, as you're just kind of feeling the backlash as it goes off, you instead realize that as the arm is going down, the body has not quite stopped moving, as now it just kind of barrels into you, and you just go flying into the wall behind it.
Sweet.
Each and every one of these stone golems crumbles to pieces as the wall behind you opens back up.
Cool.
Man,
Oh
Arlyn.
man, so close.
she.
Wait, you died?
failed.
No, I failed.
Oh, because you're not supposed to
Can't
get
move
moved out of the truck.
in that trial. And he can't go back in, so that means one of us is gonna have to do
You
that
know what?
trial.
There's I kind of think there's something to each of us doing it now though, because that allows us all to do like homework. We can be like, this is what it
Oh,
is.
you
This is what
think-
you have to do.
You think Calagon's
The
gonna
only
be
problem
okay
is
after this, though?
I don't have a lot of range. I'm not the best to
Because
do
guess
that
what,
earth trial.
guys? I was gonna let it kill me.
Lovely.
Yeah,
If it didn't move me out,
You're just
I was gonna let it kill me.
so what you're saying is that
Sounds like Calagon right now.
Roger probably could have done good with this one with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Very possible.
And Hunter's Mark and the other stuff that you can get.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah,
If
just
you had
swapping that
Colossus
between
Slayer-
them as they're going.
If you
The
had
breath
Colossus
weapon was a
Slayer,
great start to
that
that.
would've been crazy.
And when they were lined up like 3 and 3 on the two sides for a second, I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, that could really go through them. And
Or it could be really bad though, too.
But-
So,
alas,
yep, alas.
as
Alas.
Arlyn, you fall very slowly into the chamber below. having
if I have
the
something
floor
cool for this.
just give way below you.
Let's see. This might not make sense, but let's see.
How do you even study this one?
I don't.
This one doesn't
I don't.
make any sense.
I read it like 3 times. Still don't get it.
You may make more sense of it once it begins. We'll see. The hush now, causing even a whisper to sound like a scream within this space. You watch now as the stone continues to fall into this kind of plasma river, beautiful, destructive, ever so just gently gliding along, and then on occasion jaggedly pulling forward, as though going between fluid, natural, and jagged and unnatural. This continues going, and as though it looks like it's going in one direction, as you blink, it almost looks like the river's flowing in the opposite direction. And you watch now as these stones start to fall in, and you can see now, as you get closer, the rubble start to actually pull into this stream, all being lightly sucked inward and downward, as it all now crushes, compacts, blends together, and forms into new earth, and starts to form these separate platforms that then get carried down this stream, and then upon reaching the other end, crumble to pieces. While all this is occurring, each time you see the destruction of a new mass, you watch as bits of it now continue to fly upward towards an even greater force. At first, a formless mass of rubble, black in nature, starts to take form, as you can now see the bearings of a body. Within this series of particles, and forming around what you can now see is this blackened, chitinous insectoid mask. And so,
It's the core.
as you land,
What?
The core. The source.
you can
of
see where this
this
mass
power, it
now
seems.
becomes somewhat circular again, and kind of opens up to reveal that mask, as though it were looking your way. And again, I will read the inscriptions within the room for the sake of both you and everyone at home. To the south, just behind you, is a hallway with a long, dark abyss. And yet glowing along the doorway that you can see is the inscription: "Those weak enough to give up must first take on another life, or give up their own and return as dust." Not quite as friendly as what Calagon was.
Yeah, no, not at all. This
met
is
with.
basically either you
These were all meant for me.
you come back not being Arlyn, or you die.
On
This
the
one
far
stressed
north
me out
end.
more though. This was just like, oh, it's Moncala. Like he can do this. Still.
Yeah. But
There
this
is
one
a
stresses me out
separate
like crazy.
and great doorway, carved with the words, "The weighted gates of ether can only be pushed once made weightless. Face the one who guards this place to claim its form, and carry its gift to guide others. Become the form of that which you see. To do so, you must destroy the form that is, to take on what you must become."
I must kill it.
Maybe you can do. Maybe you do this. Maybe you
And
can-
with that, I'm pretty sure with the same roll as last, I could be completely wrong. That is a 2 on my, why am I blanking?
Initiative? Oh, Arlyn
And
gets
so,
to go first for
Arlyn,
once.
you're up first.
All right, so I see these moving platforms across the lake. And I see this figure facing me on the opposite end of the lake.
It is floating just above, like, the point on the opposite end, yes. Probably a good like 15 feet up currently.
Or you just had to fight rocks.
Okay.
He has to fight a bug.
This ain't no bug. So I go, So it's you that I must face, I guess.
There are no words. And even the clattering of rock that you would expect to come from around here is silent. Neither the destruction nor the creation nor the movement has any sound to it.
Well, just abyss.
Does he hear his own voice?
He does.
Is it like echoey or is it like dry?
Dry, flat, no echo whatsoever, as though eaten up once it escapes your mouth.
Wow.
It's your turn.
Very well. I suppose I must face you. Do I see any platforms nearby?
Yeah, for sure. They're
on the map?
They
Is that
are
you said?
exactly where they are on the map. Yeah,
Okay, cool. 'Cause
I'm
you
just
said
gonna
they're
keep
ever
it
moving.
simple.
Just keep it simple.
Normally, like for home games, I'll use Photoshop and I'll just like crop them out and then I'll move them casually throughout the rounds. I'm not doing that.
That's
So
sick.
we're gonna
Every
simplify
turn
it.
they shift.
That is where they are. That being said,
And
from
if I'm
where
on
you
it for
are,
too long and it reaches the other side,
you
I'm
can
dead.
feel immediately, however, that there is a pull coming from before you. A downward pull, specifically.
Oh.
Just as the
Into the
rocks are
river.
getting sucked down, lightly, so are you.
As I'm
You can feel
speaking.
a slight pull as you're just kind of standing there.
Huh. Alright, so I guess I should be moving then. That's not my map. Let me see. So I'm in like this hall thing, and there's steps to move to the side? Or is it like in
This is just
divot?
kind of like a light platform upward.
Alright.
There's really nothing to it, essentially. Pretty open space.
5, 10, 15. Can I jump?
You certainly can.
Gravity seems to work differently here.
Do you have good acrobatics?
Nope. I'm quite heavy.
Well, speaking from experience, don't jump over liquids that you could fall into.
Well, then how can I get to the other
I
side?
killed a character that way one time.
Really? That might be wise. I'm gonna go into Storm's Wrath.
Nice. A beautiful bonus
Starting at
action.
that.
Huh?
And a wonderful start as now,
Using it.
for the first time.
I'm gonna use it as an action.
Oh, okay. You now hear as this room erupts in crashing sounds, as now blackened electricity starts to lash out from all around you.
And as my bonus action, as a lightning bolt, I will teleport to the other side and cross through him.
Fantastic. What's the movement on that? What's the
I believe
the
30
distance?
feet.
Okay.
It works as a dash.
Yeah.
It's called lightning dash.
And so you do. As now, reappearing just under this creature, you watch as its form shifts.
Did you say just
to-
under?
Well,
Is that far?
generally under.
Okay.
You watch now as its form shifts to match your new location, as though a watcher in the sky above you.
So I don't go through him.
I would like for you You know what? Yeah, unfortunately, I'll allow. Make an acrobatics check.
Oh.
Acrobatics check. Rodrick dice.
I should burn those dice.
Literally. Not great for me. Thanks.
Oh, I'm
That-
sorry. Actually, forgive me. I was completely wrong about the type of the check. I forgot that I did in fact have something for it. I wanted to double check, and I'm glad I did. This is going to be, and I'll even tell you directly what it is. Use the same roll. This
Lovely.
is a DC 14 Strength saving throw.
Still no.
Okay.
Strength save? Yeah, no.
You sure you don't want him to re-roll?
Fortunately not.
You know what? Arlyn dice from now on. Thank you. Nope. A little better, I guess.
Yeah, he would have failed anyway.
I would like for you then to roll a D4 for me.
Don't know where my Arlyn D4 is, but whatever.
Sick.
1.
1. Cool. As you just and go across towards it, you watch as its form shifts as though it had its own field of gravity around it, that by the time you reached it, regardless of how fast you went, it's as though it simply sensed your presence and was pushed out of the way by your very being there. And yet, as you go to appear on the other side, as your form begins to take shape and you start to stand on your own 2 feet again, this crackling of electricity within your form starts to sputter and instead gets picked up as it continues on. And you crash down back where you started.
I crashed down what?
Right where you started.
What the heck?
Seriously. I'm still in Storm's Wrath.
Yes.
Okay.
And with that, you watch now as it continues to grow in size, destroying bits and pieces of the walls around you now, as you watch as 2 hands begin to emerge from this form, outstretched and pulling more and more debris closer in towards it. It's your turn.
I'm gonna look pretty angry. Straight into the mask. So that's the game you want to play, I suppose. Very well. So I'm going to wield my Javelin of Lightning.
Very good.
And I am going to use it at its full force. Wait. First, as a bonus action, I will cast Hunter's Mark.
Nice.
And wait, hold on. Let me see. It's not within 10 feet of me, right? No.
Not currently, no.
Not currently.
For sure.
Got it. Okay. Alright. I'm shooting this lightning bolt straight at it.
Cool. Alright, and that is a save on its part normally, right?
This will be...
Or is that an attack on your end?
This will be an attack on my end, I believe. Oh no. I can forego making a ranged attack roll. Instead, turn the weapon into a bolt of lightning. This bolt forms a 5-foot wide line between you and the target. The target and each other creature in the line, excluding me, makes a DC 13 dexterity saving throw, taking 4d6 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Immediately after dealing this damage, the weapon reappears in my hand.
That's wild.
Wow.
A line 5 feet in one
Of
direction
lightning?
of
It's
lightning.
no joke. It's
4d6.
That, honestly.
Oh yeah, that would have been
very
fantastic.
scary.
Huh?
Yeah, that'd have been really useful in that situation.
Actually, yeah, true.
And in this situation, I would like you to make a DC 14 strength check for me.
Magic missiles would be it. Just auto hits on this thing.
Strength
It's like,
check.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
would be nice.
Or I guess
See
this
how
would still
long.
be a saving throw, forgive me. I don't know why I keep
13.
We
13.
all fail.
Okay.
Do we just
Um,
switch and do it
Yeah, I
again?
think so. I think that's the move.
Then, as
Calagon's
you
gonna
go
be
to
pissed, though.
pull back and unleash this javelin, before you get the chance to fully unleash it, you feel as in that last moment before release, it's being pulled from your own grasp. As now you start to see this blackened electricity vanish from reach. And in a moment's notice, this starts to whir around the creature in an electrical storm as it whips around, lashing about, crashing into the walls all around and creating more and more debris. I would like you instead to make that very same saving throw to dodge a javelin of lightning
It's a
coming
monk
your
bug.
way.
Get out. There's no chance. You got deflect missile.
I'm gonna get hurt pretty bad regardless. So.
Yeah. Everyone gets hurt by your lightning.
Apparently not this guy.
It's true.
Passed 15.
15, very good. I believe you still take some amount of
Take
damage.
half.
Is that accurate? Yeah,
Take half.
Go ahead and roll. Plus, you would then half that further, I believe, right? So luckily,
4d6.
it's pretty good for you. So it's not the worst.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
Like literally 1, 2, 3, 4.
Into 4?
So
That's
4,
awesome.
6.
So 7, 8, 9, 10 total
10,
damage.
yeah.
But that's halved, then halved further.
5. Yes,
You have
because I am
resistance, right?
I am resistant to lightning.
Okay, so that'll be
that
2
is
points
a
of damage.
2
technically.
points of damage. Yes.
Yeah. Always gonna roll in y'all's favor, basically. All right, cool. And then with that, you watch now as, for its turn, having now gotten further destruction from this javelin of lightning, as now sparks fly out from all about it. You watch as its hands reach out, and you can still see these light sparks reaching from its hands, as now it just kind of closes its hands to its chest. And from the center of its core, you see this pulsating of violet light, as now the continued mass surrounds this creature and finally just condenses into one solid mass, as now floating before you is the form of a humanoid with arms outstretched staring down at you. And it now takes pose, as you can see one arm
There it is.
stretches out behind it. But that's its turn for now.
Oh man. Fighting Shadow Link.
A what?
Shadow Link from Ocarina of Time.
Shadow Link.
He's using the same move on you.
Yeah.
You're getting Arlyn right now, bro.
Huh. Making me use up all my stuff, bro.
Welcome to the ziggurat, y'all.
My God.
What kind of weapon?
Okay. Help me.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
I mean, he's a different form now,
Somewhat.
somewhat. He's on the ground now.
He's still floating.
Ah! Come
Still
on!
floating. You are fighting a mass of ether. Good luck. What is your next move?
I'm gonna cast Command.
Okay. What do I have to roll?
Wisdom 12.
Wisdom of 12? Okay. And what are you gonna say?
Submit.
Okay. Given the intentions behind the power, I would like to ask what your intentions are, if any, most specifically in doing so.
Basically,
So there are typically with command like set options too, so you can kind of look to those.
basically almost like to see me as its master, to bow to me and essentially like give up.
Okay.
What was it the inscription said about giving up?
About
The weak?
giving up. Ah, yes. Those weak enough to give up must first take on another life or give up their own and return as dust.
Yeah, that. Take on my life. As in, like, give up your source and come into me.
Do you enjoy that?
Submit.
There is this moment, if you will, of what could best be described as confusion, despite no immediate facial expression or anything of the sort. Given the fact that it is a carved mask, this creature kind of pauses in its place. And as it goes to wield what it looked like would be probably something akin to what you had just done, it instead rolls out before you just a chunk of stone as it lobs it to you.
A chunk of stone comes towards me.
That's right.
Is he proposing?
Like, he throws it?
Yeah, underhanded.
Diamond?
As in, like, for me to catch it, or, like, trying to hurt me?
Doesn't seem harmful.
Got it. I'm gonna try to catch it.
Okay. Easy enough for you, given the fact that it's intentional on this creature's part. As you now hold this force in your hand and just kind of looking back at the figure for this moment, is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Give him a stone.
So that was my action.
Okay. You do feel now
It's a sign of friendship. Throw him a stone.
that this stone is being pulled away from you
Yeah.
as you hold it
Towards
still.
it?
Towards it.
I am going to lightning dash again away from it, but
Okay.
across the river, but not towards it.
Okay, go ahead and place
Closer
yourself.
to the door. So I will lightning dash, basically. Let's
Okay.
see.
Yeah. Wherever you'd like to go on that front.
Is it still dead in the center?
No, it moved away just a little bit last time you went to dash towards it.
Towards me a little bit, I'm guessing.
So you can see where it kind of moved off to the side somewhat previously.
5, 10, 15, 20, 21. Okay, so then I will make it up to here.
Okay.
And
Cool.
then I'm going to use the rest of my movement. 5, 10, 15. Ah, no, wait. Is he to the left or to the right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was hidden right now.
Oh,
There you go.
There you go. Perfect. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay.
I'm literally not losing eye contact with him.
Fantastic. All right. Command. How long does that last? It's just the one?
Yeah, it's a moment.
The one round?
Instantaneous, yes.
Fantastic. Then, now having taken its form in full, this creature looks to you.
Wait, but that was my same turn.
What do you mean?
So that was my action. Lightning dash was my bonus action, and then I walked.
Right.
That was my same turn. It follows the command on its turn.
Ah, interesting.
So it says the target must
Alright.
succeed, blah, blah, blah. Choose the,
That's fair.
follow the command on its next turn, giving
Okay.
me an extra turn to move.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Perfect.
Good call.
So,
He's going to the door.
I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, lightning dash to the center. And I'm going to hold this stone towards the door.
Very nice. And as you do so, you're just standing in front of a doorway
Yeah.
holding a rock.
Love it. I love it. And I go, what is this?
But at least you're by the door.
I'm gonna read the inscription on the door again. Like that's literally what I'm gonna do. I'm
I
gonna
love
be so
the
confused. I'm gonna
frustration
read
in
it.
all this. It says, the weighted gates of ether can only be pushed once made weightless. Face the one who guards this place to claim its form and carry its gift to guide others. Become the form of that which you see. To do so, you must destroy the form that is to take on what you must become.
Gotta kill it.
Either I must destroy the form that is, as in it,
Or become it.
or
So,
destroy
if-
the form
well, it
that
says
is, as
if-
in
carry the
me
gift
If him saying,
to become
hold up,
part of it.
if you
know.
commanding submit led him to throw that rock at you, right? What if that rock is of more importance to that character, and that was him in terms of, what if it's like his heart and you can defeat him just by crushing the rock?
It's pretty good.
What if he gave you his weakness?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
how the rock would be related
I-
to submit.
Yeah.
am going to dig my sword into this rock.
Okay? That will be your action.
Yes.
Let's hope he didn't need it.
As
though.
now, you
This
just
could have
kind
been
of
helping.
pull down and
scared.
you start
Here, you're gonna need
stabbing
this.
at it. Make an attack.
This is gonna be terrible.
If it all goes wrong, it was not my idea.
Yeah.
That was
9. How do I miss?
That's plenty. That's plenty, luckily. The how is that there is still a constant pull
Okay.
coming
yeah.
from this stone
So,
towards this
disorienting.
elemental. And so as you're kind of going towards it, you feel this pull and stabbing down. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. Okay. $10.
10. Cool. As you kind of stab into it and twist a little bit, you watch now as it kind of crumbles to 4 pieces in your hands. And each of those 4 pieces now you can feel is starting to pull more so again closer towards that creature now with a stronger force. Would you like to hold on to it or release them?
This is so cryptic, bro.
You know the saying, when someone gives you their heart, never give it back.
I don't think you're supposed to stab it either.
Break it and keep it.
Break it and keep it close so they can never have it again.
Yes.
Yeah. So they could submit to you for the
You know
rest
the
of their life.
saying, last
Narcissism
Christmas,
for
I gave you my
dummies.
heart, but the very next day you gave it away.
Yeah.
This year.
So it doesn't say defeated.
It
That
says
says-
become it.
It says face it.
You must face it to become it.
Eat the heart.
You have to draw a
Read
face
it
on it.
again.
Draw a face on it.
This is the hardest part.
Maybe deface
Restore the heart of
To
Tafiti.
The weighted gates of ether can only be pushed once made weightless. Face the one who guards this place to claim its form and carry its gift to guide others. Become the form of that which you see. To do so, you must destroy the form that is, to take on what you must become.
So you do have to destroy him.
Yeah, beat it up, man.
Unless I have to destroy myself.
it. Try it.
Just kill myself, right? That'd be crazy.
No, that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, it does.
Don't do that. Try stabbing the heart again.
No. I mean,
Try eating it.
I am holding on to it for now.
Then you'll have kidney
Okay.
stones.
Cool. Then with that, it is now the ether elemental's turn.
Great.
And you see now as forming around it is a ring of stone that continues to encircle its body. And as it reaches out from the lot, it takes a stone from it. And rather than just the one stone going with it, you watch now as the entire ring of debris starts to collect around the stone as it now holds it out to its side. And it's going to lob it at you with, unfortunately,
Lovely.
only a 2 to hit.
Oh yeah, that
initial.
definitely misses. That definitely hits.
Okay, so
The
seems
wall.
it seems like what it did is just hand you its weapon of choice.
Now, I would still, however, like for you to make a strength saving throw for me. Uh-oh.
Nat 1 plus 2.
That one.
3.
Cool. Not
We
as
should get
bad
that
as it
one
could have been
tattoos.
for sure, as now this mass just kind of collapses in front of you as this elemental just lobs it from across the room. It strikes down at your feet and explodes on impact with a force so great that it actually slams you into the doorway behind you, dealing 2 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, no problem.
And it is going to now start floating closer and closer towards you. And that's its turn.
Maybe to have it defeat itself.
You can see now at your feet all of the debris from all of what it had just thrown your way is now starting to rise up and roll and start coming back towards this elemental. You're up.
Was the rock that it threw at you
Can't fight the Iron Giant, man.
made from debris? Or did
Yes.
it come from him?
Debris.
Or it?
This mask is collecting all the debris to build a giant, like, mass. A giant ether construct, essentially.
Okay.
The mask is the source.
Do you have any poison potions on you
No.
that you can roll and let him engulf? Or anything that he could engulf by mistake that would then in turn destroy him?
Seems like not anything that he can't control himself. Like my lightning. Like, can you imagine sucking up the lightning? Like, that must have hurt him, but it didn't. He just used it against me, essentially.
Maybe he's allergic to blueberries.
Could be useful, man. You guys are definitely thinking good thoughts. I'll say that much.
Yeah, he needs to... Have you inspected the room to see if there's anything in the room that if he were to suck up, it would impact him negatively?
Like the river? Is the river toxic?
Can I inspect the room? Yes. I'm going to look around. That would take an action.
Yes. Yes, it would.
I don't know if I want to use an entire... Yikes.
Yeah, but knowledge might be the most valuable thing to you right now.
Yeah.
You can survive another attack.
Okay.
It's also a guy that told you to waste an action on stabbing a stone. So.
Come on, man. What you got? What you got?
Um,
You've tested a few different things, sort of. You've tried hurling lightning at it. You've tried
As an
holding
action,
a rock to the door.
I'm
Try
doing
breaking the rock.
up your enemy.
Up your enemy. Okay. Yeah, read it out for me.
I can choose one creature within 60 feet of me
Very good.
that I can see to make a wisdom saving throw of 12.
Okay.
It says fiends and undead have a disadvantage, but we don't even
Right.
roll that. On a failure, the creature is frightened, and its speed is reduced to 0, and it can't benefit from bonuses to speed for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. On success, the creature's speed is halved for 1 minute or until the creature takes any damage.
Okay.
For
So
1
it
minute is
effectively
crazy.
makes it frightened and unable to move closer to you.
It cannot move at all
If it-
unless it passes.
If it passes, its
Half
speed
time.
is
Its
halved
speed is halved
for
for an
10
entire
turns.
minute. For 10 turns.
And it's
yeah.
already submitting
Wow.
to you. So,
That's-
I mean,
And it's already
Actually,
that's
submitted.
pretty much your pet.
Well,
at
it's
this point.
submitted for
Good.
one. For
Oh,
one
One
yeah.
round.
It does look on as you cast this, then. And you watch now as it just kind of lowers its limbs and again just looks to you, kind of cocking its head to the side for a moment. And it doesn't seem to be moving closer towards you.
It definitely was moving closer before.
Was, and
Confirm.
it seemed to. Don't really know.
It did in fact fail.
Oh!
Very
Now
well.
it's stuck in place.
I know how it feels.
For 10 turns.
Now it's your turn then.
Very good. Then with that, it's going to do what it does and simply start forming again. You watch now as all the rubble from before you at your feet just comes flying towards this elemental. And now you watch as in the last moment it kind of grabs at it and pulls it around and starts circling it around its form again, and putting a hand forward just sends it all out as another lash coming your way. That is a 14 to hit this time.
That also misses.
Okay, go ahead and make another dexterity saving throw for me.
Dexterity or strength?
I'm sorry, strength, you're right.
Jeez! Bye!
You have to make the saving
I
throws if it
failed.
misses still?
Yes.
We don't need
I
bad
failed.
rolls on this side.
I don't need that die.
Keep that over there.
Okay. Then once again, slamming back into the
It's cursed.
same wall. It is in fact another 2, just on a roll.
I love that.
But
okay, I'm gonna try
it's not
Rodrick
moving
that again.
anywhere. And it is your turn.
Very well. Now I'm gonna use my action to look around.
Okay. Fantastic.
Can I look around to see if there's anything that particularly looks toxic to it? What are these towers in the corners, for example?
Okay. Make an investigation check for me.
Nat 20. All right, now we're going.
Nice.
Now we're playing.
That's why we use Rodrick dice.
And plus 0, so yeah. Nat 20.
Okay.
Rodrick dice. Kings.
It's a nat 20 on investigation. I'll be nice on this. Each of the lanterns
Only good roll.
around that are almost set up to look like they were intended to look like torches in some way is glowing with a dim violet light, much like the core of this elemental and much like the entirety of this river before you. The dull light seems to kind of keep this entire area generally well lit, and you can see that it's the same thing that seems to be powering not just those fixtures, but also the text along the walls and doorways. And so as you look on, trying to watch as this source of power goes throughout, you recognize that it is the only thing that seems to be affecting everything within this room, essentially. And so as you look on, you take it that there is a clear and unique relationship between the stone that is created and destroyed here and between the almost endless seeming destructive power of the river below you.
Destroy the towers.
Destroy the towers.
It's breaking the veil all over again.
Maybe dam the river.
The towers themselves don't seem to be connected to the river in any way.
Got it. Got it.
And the river needs to be dammed somehow to stop the flow of the river.
But everything's ever flowing in the river.
Any ideas? What would you like to do, sir?
My goodness.
It's entirely up to you.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Every time he throws one of those stones of debris, what happens to the debris?
It comes back to it.
It comes right back to it every time?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not like he's grabbing debris and it stays like he's creating rubble?
No, every time there's rubble about, it continues to form back to the elemental itself, enlarging it each time. Enlarging.
Okay. Okay.
All right. With that, Arlyn, what would you like to do for your turn?
I think that was my turn. Investigation.
Did it? Oh, that's right. Is there anything else you'd like to do though, bonus action movement wise?
How many uses of Channel Divinity do I have? I don't remember.
Golly, my rolls are garbage. At least if I
3,
can
I
just
think?
end this. This is brutal.
No, I just... Okay. Okay,
It's definitely like the
I'm gonna
slowest
use...
pace we've had.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Everyone's
gonna use
very
this puzzle
Well, it's tough.
session.
We don't know what to do.
It's
yeah.
hard.
But
I like it.
you know, it seems like his thing seemed like it was a whole like complicated game, but you just fight. Yeah, maybe just fight.
I don't know if I
got
can
a
hit
water
it.
elemental. He had an earth elemental. You're in the aether thing. You got an aether elemental. Just fight the elementals. What does beat him up?
Bro, fight an ether elemental.
Yeah, that's all you have
I tried. It's just did
But you're
everything.
fighting
I
it with
did.
ether stuff. Just hit it. You know what I mean? just hit him.
Hit him in the face. Get that mask off.
A few
Can't fight on
fun
his
things
turf,
have been
man.
said.
You gotta fight with it.
I can't fight on this turn. I use my action, but I am going to. Mutter something up to the one creator,
Okay.
and I'm going to use blah 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 blah. Where is it? Harness divine power as a bonus action.
Okay. Not familiar with this one, actually, I
And
don't think.
I'm gonna utter a prayer and regain 1 expended spell slot.
Nice. Very useful. Okay.
Now I have 2.
Well then, with
Because I only
that,
had 1 left.
rolling a grand total of 12 to hit, I would like for you to
Hold
still
up,
make.
though. I do want to move. I do want to move.
Okay.
Thinking about it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Cool.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
All right. So then, yeah, on its turn, it's still just gonna strike at you once more, and again, sending a heaping pile of rubble, each time getting somewhat larger your way. Yet as you're moving, you barely duck out of the way, and as it slams behind you, I'd like you to make a strength saving throw.
Lovely. $20.
20.
Let's go.
Okay.
The game has
Then
begun.
you feel the force kind of push you forward, almost off the ledge that you're standing on, and
Yeah.
just kind of stopping yourself before anything. You just kind of get to look back up at it, and it doesn't have any show of expression, yet you can watch as now the frilling of the different like shards of rock, of stone, and even what look like smaller bits of like metal, as you can see like these specks glistening throughout. As it's going, it's continually like flaring outward, as though almost frustrated. But it's your turn again.
How do the stones in my hand react to that?
Continually pulling towards it.
I am going to lightning dash
Very good.
here.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the stones. I'm gonna put them in the river.
Okay. Make a strength saving throw.
$11.
11. You feel now as the force of this within begins to crush your arm and pull you further down into it. And as now your fist starts to get enveloped, you start to feel the immense force pulling down, pulling you prone, as now your entire arm is deep within this force. And you're going to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. as you now feel the solidified mass of one larger stone in your hand.
Oh, it all
And with that, we'll take a quick break.
gravity together.
Huh.
Whoa.
The solidified stone of one large stone engulfing my entire arm.
Just no,
No.
in your hand.
Or-
in your hand.
No,
Just
the what you were holding,
What
all the
was
rocks
pieces
have
is now one singular form once again.
Yeah.
But we'll see what that means for you in a moment.
Oh no!
Love you guys. See you back here in 10.
Very well.
Beat him up. Beat him up.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. Now, we are in the middle of a fight with Arlyn and the Ether Elemental within his trial, clearly frustrated by
Both
the
sides
happenings.
frustrated, it seems.
As now, the Ether Elemental is flaring in its own anger. And Arlyn, now having reached his arm into this river of flowing plasma, feels now the compression as it starts to just strain his arm, slowly crushing him and pulling him further and further into it, as he now grips this compiled mass of stone that was just multiple pieces. And you watch now as small bits start to fly off, whatever small amounts of almost like powder residue seems to crush from between each of those four pieces as it kind of compacts together. You can see now as those now start flying upward, where you can see for the first time, you realize nothing that you do seems to be able to reach this creature. And so as you look onward, looking up, there is this sense of hopelessness, no doubt. And you recognize that you can't get anywhere near it. Not easily. And throwing even lightning, doesn't matter how fast, it's just not enough to reach within this creature's orbit. Nothing within its stony figure amassed from all these stones seems to permeate within this kind of central orbit around it. And so looking onward, you watch now as even the bits of rock from your hand are now starting to collide and come together and form pieces. And as you watch, you look as some of them start to now take place and further his growth on his form. And with that, it is your turn. Still.
None of that helped us. We don't know.
Nothing.
He's stuck.
It's still just as mysterious as when you
Keep
first
trying
entered.
stuff.
Make one more intelligence check for me.
Might have to. While I'm doing this, can you read the instruction again?
The inscription on the main.
Not on the main door, like the one that explains the river and stuff.
Let me see. So, I don't remember if I sent this part to you,
I think so.
but there is, from where you are currently, actually an inscription that normally would be very hard to read. So that is appropriate regardless. Where inscribed in the stone at the very base of the river here are the words, weightless, crushing, eternal, as though inscribed within the jagged rock, and yet not being pulled apart by the rest of it. It says, terrifying in stillness, unstoppable in motion. It binds the stars and compacts all it touches. Matter becomes dense, yet light as breath. Flesh becomes dust. To touch it, unshaped, is to invite ruin. But those who prevail and can endure its weight are made stronger than before.
I think I'm supposed to jump in the river.
I think so
That's
too.
what I thought.
I think I'm supposed to literally become a matter that gets completely destroyed and reformed at the end.
Let's see.
Just like the stone.
Hold your nose.
Wait a second.
Intelligence.
Hold up. Is this a baptism?
Is Arlyn getting baptized in ether?
Weightless, crushing, eternal, terrifying in stillness, unstoppable in motion. It binds the stars and compacts all it touches. Matter becomes dense, yet light as breath. Flesh becomes dust. To touch it unshaped is to invite ruin. But those who prevail and can endure its weight are made stronger than before.
Touch it unshaped is to create or is to
To touch it unshaped is to invite ruin.
Right, bro. What is unshaped? Your hair is unshaped. I'd be scared.
I think I need to heal myself and jump in the lake.
Stress me out.
I mean, what's
So
gonna happen? I failed.
So when you said those words,
Tell him what
I
your
did look
intelligence
at
check was.
Tristan
It
and
doesn't have to
his
be.
eyes widened, meaning to say, I think you would be killing yourself.
All things are options here, boys.
Oh my God.
Who wants to jump in the eternal, weightless yet terrifying flesh become dust,
You got
but
hurt when you put
you
your arm
know,
in there, so I wouldn't.
weight making stronger?
Alright, here's one thing.
What was the other? There was another instruction on.
Inscription?
Well, inscription, I guess.
There is one at the northern doorway that says, "The weighted gates of ether can only be pushed once made weightless. Face the one who guards this place to claim its form and carry its gift to guide others. Become the form of that which you
The one who
see."
made this place.
Sorry. Become the form of that which you see. To do so, you must destroy the form that is. To take on what you must become.
Literally feels like I need to destroy myself to become the ether.
Yeah, you must be
Alright.
born again.
Can I just give you the one instruction that Cleave was trying to give everybody with if you're gonna do this, do it with a good berry in your mouth, so it squishes automatically by the ether, and maybe gives you one more turn to survive if worse comes to worse.
You definitely did feel a whole lot of crushing weight in your arm just now, as your arm is like partially shriveled for sure.
Partially what?
Shriveled.
Shriveled. Lovely.
Oh, then it's not even worth living anymore. Like being
Just
shriveled?
like crushed, you know, it's just like broken up, little messed
That's
up.
how you feel, yeah.
But so are the stones, and then they immediately go back to form.
This is true.
Like, I think I
Do
just
what
need
you
to
gotta do.
become weightless.
Sorry, you did make the.
It's
intelligence check,
terrible.
right?
Not even-
What was it?
It's a 5.
It's a 5?
They can tell you something easy.
Maybe.
That is enough to state one aspect of this.
Mixed with my nat 20 investigation check.
So 25 investigation?
Your arm is in serious pain. In case that wasn't obvious enough, it's definitely weird to feel the crushing weight as it pulses and going to shake the arm itself. Your arm is in crazy pain, yet normally what would feel like a numbness instead feels like a lightness.
Weightless. Light.
Jump.
Jump.
Jump it. Dive.
Jump. Jump. Jump.
Jump.
You know
Jump.
for a fact what just
Jump.
happened to you.
Jump.
Very painful.
Jump.
But your arm
Jump.
is lighter.
Jump.
It says those who
Jump.
endure.
Jump. 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 Don't
Ducks.
forget the good bear.
Ducks.
Jump.
With my good arm.
Quack. Quack.
Sarcastically.
With his strong hand.
With my strong hand.
Are you sure you don't want to heal yourself first, just in case?
With my strong hand, I'm gonna touch my chest.
Wait.
Oh
Are
my
you still
gosh.
in?
Huh?
Are you still in Storm's Wrath?
Oh my god, I'm dropping form.
Thank God.
Joel, thank
This
you.
guy always.
Thank you.
The good and the bad behind all that was phenomenal to me.
It's fine.
I'm dropping form. Do I have to do that like as an action, or can I just
No,
like
you drop. Yeah, you're good.
beautiful?
And you heal yourself.
My broken arm.
Fantastic. As you now
I'm gonna heal myself to full.
heal up, you feel now both your arms in full function, except one of them is undoubtedly faster, stronger than the other now.
Which one?
Which one?
The one that was just crushed.
Perfect.
I'm not dumb.
Jump in, but dangle by that arm. Oh, hold on. so that one's still out.
Yeah, that arm's already been
It's
reformed.
good. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it is.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I need to be crushed to be reformed and come back stronger. I know I have
Which is what
to.
happened to that arm already.
That's what happened. Yes, but if the arm is connected
Hey,
to
go
me, it
for it,
needs
man.
to go too.
Go for it. All right.
I'm back to full health. I'm looking the elemental straight in the face, causing even more frightened fear.
Very good.
And I'm
Cannonball or
I am going to, while not losing eye contact, walk off the ledge.
oh, you should have. dove, because if your head gets crushed first, then you wouldn't feel the excruciating pain.
Welcome first and foremost, everybody, to the nautical campaign as Arlyn walks the plank for the first time into death. Now let's see. That is first a 6 for the first roll, then a 2,
Are those
total
like
of 8
to
for the
hurt me?
next.
Or
as
damage?
Another 6 comes your way of 14 total crushing damage so far, followed by another 4 points of crushing damage.
Are you counting this all up?
How many?
23 points of bludgeoning damage.
Is that in full?
That is in full.
I'm still alive.
Coming Arlyn's way as you feel that you are being dragged deeper and deeper into the abyss. That is not just some shallow pond that you've just stepped in, but you recognize this now more as what feels like you've just escaped Earth's atmosphere and ejected yourself into space.
Literally what we're in sound-wise right now.
As you do so, you can just see the glowing purple eyes above you as this elemental looks down on you.
Nobody looks down on our leader.
What?
I said nobody looks down on our leader.
No.
And it doesn't seem to take action in that moment as you are now being dragged further and further, deeper and deeper into this space. What would you like to do, Arlyn Dursalai?
What can you do?
What can I do? Am I in full form?
Swim?
You are currently in full form, getting dragged further and further below.
Can I swim?
It doesn't immediately feel like it. This is not a solid, this is not a liquid, this is a plasma that seems to be flowing around you and with you. You are near the wall still, obviously, as you had just stepped off.
Can I climb it?
You can absolutely try to.
I am going to start climbing.
You're gonna start climbing out? Okay,
Just moving. That's good. That's a good start.
make an athletics check.
$13.
13. Okay. As you, one hand after the next, start to climb your way, you can feel the force of this rushing river of just plasma, of pure just force itself crashing around you. And one hand after the next, you start to feel as you start to get good handhold. And then as you reach your hand up, you grab towards the ledge, and you can feel now just getting closer and closer as you can see now
Should've held on with
the
that
light
hand.
start to kind of spark in front of your face, and you can feel now as your grip starts to give way, as now the earth starts to just fly out from your hands and fly upwards towards that elemental,
Okay.
dropping you directly down into the center of this river.
Perfect. I am going to use an action to go into Storm's Wrath again.
Okay. Do you have that twice a day?
I do when it's cursed.
Not anymore, if you remember.
Ah!
We did have this conversation last week.
We did have this conversation. I am not happy about that.
Can you still heal stuff? Or you're out?
What's that?
Can you still heal?
Yes, I'm gonna heal myself for 4 points. That's everything.
Okay. Fantastic. Then Arlyn, as you feel your weight sinking below, with no immediate hold of the wall beside you, you can feel the crushing weight start to give way. And as you now start to float to the bottom of what seems like an endless chasm, you instead find yourself on solid ground.
I'm at the next level. Huh.
Okay.
And much like above, you can see now where there are smaller lights from all around you. One clear source that seems to be funneling upward towards this river above you. And from it you can see, clearly crushed and glowing, are a number of objects and even one body beside you. Or at least the remains of what was a body at some point in time.
So this one light source, is it like, does it seem like it's connected to this like energy?
It definitely does.
Destroy it.
Okay.
Looking about, there are a series of different objects strewn about. There are barrels, there are different doors and tools. You can see this rusted longsword and shield on the side of this seemingly humanoid figure dead at your side. There is a large gate beside you. Also this deep violet, much like the grate on the floor on the other side of the room. What would you like to do?
So I don't have an action anymore. But I guess, am I still in initiative?
Yes, for the time being.
So
Should investigate.
that's an action.
I'll say, you know what? We'll simplify it. For the time being, we'll break initiative. What are you doing?
Can I investigate the area? Just like, okay, I realize, I guess, that light seems to be connected to this river.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to investigate in like inside the crates. I want to look inside that sewer area.
Okay.
I kind of want to investigate the corpse next to me.
Cool. As you go to start kind of messing about with each object, as you go to touch them and move them around, you can feel that each of them is immensely heavier than they should be.
Huh.
Even just the skeletal remains of this humanoid on the ground, it seems almost like trying to roll a large boulder, just moving the skull itself.
Okay.
And all of the objects around are no different. Looking down into the grate, it's very clear that you see just what you had come from. Those same brighter remains of just this semi-viscous seeming kind of plasma that you had just swam through moments prior. And you yourself can feel the surging pain throughout your entire body. And yet there is a lightness to you. And even a dull purple glow, much like some of the things around you.
Okay. I'm gonna hit the light source
Okay,
with my sword.
fantastic. As you do, you just kind of pull and swing at it. Go ahead and roll to hit with advantage.
$22.
22, go ahead and roll damage.
I'm using both hands.
Cool.
I need a D10. Rodrick dice for everything, huh? Remind me how smite works.
That's you, man.
thing.
That's your ability.
I just do it, or do I have to cast a spell slot?
I
don't
don't remember, yeah.
Smite is your ability. Yeah, I'm
Like
pretty sure
regular
it's a spell
smite.
slot. And
It
it's
is
like-
a spell slot, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So... where do I even have it?
Smite. When you hit
find
with a
it.
melee attack, you can expend one slot to deal 2d8 extra
Yeah.
radiant to one target, plus 1d8 for each
Oh, there
level
it is.
higher.
I am also casting Divine Smite.
Cool.
That's a 6, and then this is a D10. I need 2 D8. Rodrick dies all day. That was 6, right? Plus 3. Plus 5.
Okay. Total?
6 plus 8 is 13.
13. Okay. As you kind of swing down on what almost looks like a small candlelight at the center of this, slowly feeding upward, and as you crack towards the center, you realize there is a solid substance at the center of it, and as you hit, it's almost like you hear a light cracking sound.
Huh.
As there is something that is clearly taking damage in the middle here, and just kind of blow after blow, striking down on it.
I'm gonna keep hitting.
You now watch as instead just this small smattering of fractured crystal appears on the pedestal before you, where the light now starts to dissipate and just feed upward. And slowly start to fade, as you can now make out the general silhouette of a form still floating well above you.
I want to start climbing the wall.
Okay. Go ahead and make an athletics check with advantage.
Is it advantage because I'm weightless?
You are very, very light. Yes.
$19.
19. Okay, yeah. With relative ease, as you start to climb, you realize that it's not like it was before, and especially as this mass above you is starting to fade and can join these two rooms back together in one centralized kind of construct where you actually see the rooms starting to form together once more. You can see that some of these rocks are starting to form back into the walls all around you, and as you climb, it's not just like, okay, let me like try to like struggle and reach a foot up. No, immediately you get to reach all the way, just lengths of your body, as you now start scaling as though climbing.
Wow.
by just jumping practically, scaling, just flying through, and reaching the top with relative ease, where you are now back in initiative.
Beautiful.
Facing this ether elemental.
Do I roll it?
A very, very low, very, very dim version of the river that you had just previously swam through, no longer dealing any damage to you. Cool. It is your turn, yeah? You're first up.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
What does this elemental look like now?
Still the same as it was when you left it.
Okay. Lovely.
I appreciate you staying hopeful. That was good.
Huh?
I said I appreciate you staying hopeful. That was good. No. So, yeah, no, it's exactly where you left it, looking exactly as it was.
Nice. Are these like... How does the river look? Like, are things still like breaking and constructing and...
It looks like they're starting to slow in that regard.
Okay.
And some of the rocks now, rather than breaking and constructing into their own formations, are what's being used to solidify the walls around you, all kind of shaping back and fixing
what about the stone in my hand? Is it being pulled
I guess,
towards
yeah, if
the
you
elemental,
still have that,
or...
it would probably still be pulled towards the elemental currently.
I'm going to walk up to this elemental.
Okay.
With the stone in hand. I'm gonna say, what is this?
Okay. Is that your turn?
It's something.
Do I want to use my altar on the... It's not.
I'm gonna... been wild with the
okay.
tension.
I'm gonna walk up to him.
Can I say something before you make any motion? potions.
Go.
The weighted gates of ether can only be pushed once made weightless.
I'm going to the gate.
Okay.
It's all in the wording of the puzzle, gentlemen. I think so.
What is your movement
That's
speed?
pretty good. 30 feet, and I'm going to dash.
He's lighter now.
Okay.
I am lighter, so can I get a free dash? No, I'm just kidding.
You would recognize based on your climb just
Could
now.
I float
that
literally
you
there?
Can, exactly right. You can jump. You can scale the platform in front of you with just one hop now.
You're practically an astronaut, right?
And you are able to make
Literally.
it to the door in exactly 30 feet.
I'm gonna look up and down at the door, and I'm gonna try and lift it.
Okay.
But that would be an action, so save that. It's your turn.
You would still technically have an action. You only use 30 feet of movement to get to it.
Ah, okay. Well then, yes, I'm doing that.
All right. So
I'm
then
trying.
Starting to like crash into this wall and do what you can to open it. You can feel now that there is some amount of give to it. Go ahead and roll a strength check for me.
Okay.
Nat 20
It's
plus
the time.
2.
The time is for it.
Nat 20 plus 2.
Okay.
Bruh.
This creature looks on as you're kind of crashing against this and you're trying to lift and hoist and pull and push, and as you're kind of looking back and forth and slamming against it, you feel now that there is some tension release within the center of this gateway, and you start just slamming and looking back and dropping your shoulder into it. You can feel now where not only are you lighter than you were before, but your bones don't seem to be taking the beating that they were previously. And you just kind of drop your shoulder into it, and with one final charge, you just crash right through the center of this doorway and vanish into an abyss.
Whoa.
As Cleave.
Whoa!
Did you do it?
I think so.
I think I passed.
I don't know if you. Something tells me you didn't pass like the way you were supposed to, but
Yeah, but we made it work. Hey, my next one was
We're 1 and
casting.
1. This feels like the Hunter x Hunter like.
My next one was gonna be casting command and go collapse.
We will unfortunately almost definitely have to cut this short, unfortunately, but I do
Oh, boy.
wanna give you guys some love, as neither of you guys has really gotten to do anything this session, so I do apologize on that front. But it's been very fun watching you
Yeah,
guys
I'm into
try to figure it out.
no, yeah, I'm into it too. The
well, then,
teamwork part is great.
Cleave, looking onward, there's one aspect of this inscription that continues to replay over and over in your mind. As looking to this plaque before you, it says, "Like water, you must flow freely, shaping your path without bending to the expectations of others." And then it gives you the instruction. It says, "As a guardian, you must learn when to ride the currents and when to carve your own course. Know when to fight, when to freeze, and when to force your way forward toward your purpose." As you stand there freezing cold and feeling the shifting of your own weight on these slick, icy floors below you, you can see where portions of stone do reveal themselves in the stairwell before you. But as you look onward and towards those stairs, you are met with the gaze of another. You can see the crackling of ice as it breaks apart just from the shifting movement of this elemental looking your way. This form of water, this being that, unlike those prior, does not seem to be relenting in its pursuit immediately, as it immediately starts walking your way, yet still, for the third time in a row, slower than the player that it's facing.
Wild.
Cleave, you're up first.
Good, because Cleave has changed recently, and as much as he would love to be hyped about this moment, he just steps forward too. I'm gonna move forward a little bit,
Okay.
And I want to try something that's always got different rulings depending on the DM, I think. So, you tell me.
Sounds exciting.
But with what I now have a second level spell slot, I would like to. Let me get the measurements right here. All right, so I'm gonna move forward about 15 feet.
Very good. So you start to climb these.
Right, I'm gonna get right up to the
a little bit
stairs.
there, yeah.
And then I would like to try to cast Create or Destroy Water.
Okay.
On the elemental.
Okay.
Can that be done?
I would like for you to make an Arcana check for me.
Okay.
Hilarious.
A natural 20. I got my natural 20 when I needed to. All right,
Let's
Steve,
go.
that's where we actually needed the information in these things. We need info.
Yeah.
It'd be
Okay.
hilarious if Manny took 40 minutes and you were done in 5.
No, you're probably gonna tell me I can't do it.
Give me the read on that, please.
All right. You either create or destroy water. Create water. You create up to 10. Destroy water. You destroy up to 10 gallons of water, and then at second level, it's an additional 10 gallons. In an open container within range, so you can't do it if it's enclosed, like, behind something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, ordinarily you wouldn't be able to do it within like somebody's body because it's closed too. Alternatively, you destroy a fog in a 30-foot cube within range. So it's either in one spot, and open, or just fog.
Cool.
Within 30 feet.
Which spell is that?
Create or destroy water.
As you kind of
Destroy
reach
the
your
body's
hand
entire
out,
body?
You can't do that. That's what I'm saying. 'cause that's
enclosing your
enclosed.
hand on it, there's this almost tether linking you to your power that you can feel in that moment. That it's very, very obvious to you in that moment that as you kind of enclose your hand to destroy water on this elemental, that there is a force that would normally be fighting you to do something of this sort, that there is an aspect of life that holds its own energy and prevents you from doing so. And yet in this moment, for whatever reason, you watch as a splash comes off of this creature.
Let's go!
And its shoulder just blows out from it.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I haven't got time to waste on you, you beautiful creature. And I'm pull out a little bit of pocket sand like I have, and I'm gonna just like blow it its way, and then do that crushing motion that you did.
Whoa.
And I'm just gonna keep booking it. Well, on my next turn, I guess.
Right? I mean, you still have plenty of movement speed to go. You can make
you're
it
right.
to the
Yeah,
top
yeah,
of the
I do keep
platform.
booking it. Yeah.
So here, I'll put you up there.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you.
So if you want to make it, you can make it as far as like right up to it, essentially, the top of the platform there.
No, I'll give myself still a little bit of space. Let's see. I'm gonna guess that it probably can move about the same speed as me, which I have no reason to guess that. Oh wait, that would put it right where I started. So will I continue? No, you know what? I like what I did. I'm gonna keep my space. I'm gonna keep my distance. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna stay where I was. But what I will do is, like I was trying to tell Arlyn to do, I'm just gonna pop a good berry in my mouth. I'm not gonna bite it. I'm gonna use it like a reverse cyanide capsule.
Very good. All right. Then, as you do so, starting to look onward towards this creature, you just kind of hold your hand down and looking back up at it for this moment, you recognize that its form is starting to just redisperse and fill in the gaps of where its shoulder was, as it now just kind of looks like it's shaking off the pain of what was. And now almost falling into a pool of water like a wave crashing down these stairs.
Whoa,
You
that's
watch
awesome.
as it now just floods your space.
Okay.
I would like for you to make a strength saving throw for me.
I will do that. That is 6.
6, very good. Always fun, boys. All right. Then, you take a total of, 10 bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled. Until this grapple ends, You are also both restrained and unable to breathe, as you are now being suffocated by the water as it restricts your movement and your breathing all at once. And you can feel as the crushing weight of this wave now encompasses your form, and yet beyond that, it's the cold that starts to bite at your lungs as you now go in for breath after breath, trying to make your way out alive. You're up.
Okay.
Water breathing potion.
Yeah.
We still have access to those.
You're right. I do have that. There's bonus action to drink for myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't drink it. No, you don't do that. You just right? That's very
cover
important. You
yourself.
don't drink it.
Yes.
I'm just gonna.
How are we gonna get out
I'm
of
gonna
here?
sort of release some.
What happens if you pour it on the elemental?
Great question. We'll find out.
We'll find.
I'm gonna pop open my thing and get some of that onto my skin and then re-plug it.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. And in that moment, sure enough, just as you recall, you can breathe in the water.
What else we got? What else?
Joel, please make...
Oh boy.
I'm assuming you're going to try to automatically fail, which you can, but otherwise it's a DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
Against what?
To not be cursed by this mucus. If, however, you
Cursed?
fail, which you choose
Wait, does
to do
dominate
so,
again? He always tells me what to do.
you are diseased for 1d4 hours, in which you can only breathe underwater.
Only breathe underwater.
And if I succeed,
Then you fight off the effect.
the whole effect. Well,
Try to fail.
no, I'm gonna fail. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna let that.
You can
I
choose to fail?
I choose to fail.
Okay, you're going to choose to
Okay.
fail?
And I'm sick. Was I sick last time?
You are cursed with this aboleth's mucosal form
Okay.
as it now starts to kind of make your form somewhat transparent once more.
But you have shape water, right?
Yeah, I got some shape water.
You can SpongeBob it.
Yeah, it's true. If
You don't
if I
need
win,
it.
I'll just kind of like
Yeah, you don't need it.
Bonus action, you now just kind of start to, as you can feel it start to kind of take effect and kind of pulling at your breath again, you now start to breathe in aspects of this water elemental itself.
That's crazy because you're breathing
Start
him
drinking.
in.
I'll start drinking.
Like he's flowing through your new gills. That's so gross.
It is a very large creature, and it is all around you. You
No,
know
that's
factually
fine.
that it would take a very long time to affect it.
Here's what I like to do. I like to say,
It's very intimate between you and this water element.
and
No idea what you said.
I got you right where I want you.
and I would like now to pull some seeds out of my pockets. And for the first time ever, with my first second level spell, I would like to cast upon both of us Moonbeam. Let's go.
Incredible. Alrighty. I take it that does not harm you then?
I probably do.
These guys.
A silvery beam of pale moonlight shines down in a 5-foot radius. 45. I mean, if it's too big for me,
Why
I
are
can
you
put it
guys
next to
so
me.
self-destructive?
No, I'll put it next. It's a large thing, right? So I can
Yeah,
put
it's
it.
large.
Yeah, I'll put it 5 feet in front of me then.
Okay.
40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range until it ends. Dim light fills the cylinder. Cool. When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn, or starts its turn there, it is engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain and must make a Constitution saving throw. It takes 2d10 radiant damage on a fail and half as much on a success. A shape changer makes its saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay. What's the save?
Constitution of mine is
Would a water elemental be considered a shape changer?
great question. They do be changing.
Not
This is the whole base of shape
technically
change.
by rules as written.
But unfortunately, Cleave would be considered a
It's a
shape
12.
changer, would he?
I always thought I would.
Because
I don't
you're
know if
druidic?
Some people would allow that, but it is
It's
like
been
a
back and forth, too.
specific like trait that some
Okay.
creatures have. Sorry,
'Cause
what
I would
was
be humanoid, but then it's also it's up in the
Sorry,
air.
what was the save, Joel?
12 Constitution.
Constitution of 12. That does succeed.
All right, so half as much. That's 2d10.
Fantastic.
So it comes down to 4.
Okay. As you are engulfed by this creature, you can feel now that you are dealing some of your best damage, and yet as you burn away at aspects of this, you see this light bubbling in the film of what you could best call its skin around you, and you recognize that while it's undoubtedly taking damage, it's negligible in relation to what this creature is.
Fair enough, but it's gonna be here for 10 rounds. So let's keep going. It's its turn though. That's all I can do for now.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. Then you're going to take. Yeah, I'll just take the average here. 13 bludgeoning damage.
13 bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
He has half my HP right there.
Okay.
And it's going to start moving you. And you see now as it starts to kind of slide across this light bridge
Oh my
of
goodness.
land hidden between these two bergs, if you will. And slowly going towards a separate platform.
It's fast.
You're up, Joel.
It doesn't get slowed down by carrying me.
Not currently, no.
Currently, get it?
True. Where we just went through, was that all like still liquid water, like water?
Yes, there is like an icy top layer to it that you can see broken apart as some of it is like lightly shifting, but otherwise, yes.
Where is it? Oh, here we go. Okay. And then down these stairs in front of me, is that just a wall?
Nice. So now that you've made it this far and looking out, granted, somewhat disfigured based on your vision trying to see out of this, there is a doorway at the base of this.
And it wants to go through the doorway? Maybe I don't want to go there. Alright, so on my turn, I just want to try to get out.
Okay.
What is that?
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be a strength saving throw.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me double check.
Athletics check, is that what it is?
Grappled. Yeah, you're right.
Athletics? Okay. It's no difference. It's 4. It is 4. That's going to be a... Oh, I meant to do something else, but it's okay.
Cool.
It's going to be a 7.
Okay.
Which I assume fails.
For sure.
And then I would like to bonus action. I would like to become... I should have thought about this a long time ago. Something that's an okay swimmer and good in the cold. A dire wolf, because we've definitely seen those. I would like to become a dire wolf.
Okay.
Can I still breathe in the water?
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
a water-breathing dire wolf.
You are possibly the first ever water-breathing dire wolf.
I guess that's it, unless I can swim around its little bulbous body inside.
Fantastic.
Then I would like to go right here.
Cool. Then as you now start swimming around its form, crashing about and just kind of feeling the struggle of this weighted form all around you, you start trying to take in the space around you, and you can start seeing different aspects of these different platforms, and there is this moment where you get a glimpse of the others around you before getting dragged down, where you can see that there is a grand higher platform with like this icy base, and off to the side it almost seems like this form of a humanoid that is just like frozen solid with this kind of leathered armor on the outside of the ice. And as you kind of look back, getting dragged downward by this, you can feel the immense weight of this rapidly crashing down, using the stairs and its gravity to move faster and faster each time. As it now turns itself into a wave, you can feel the crushing weight of this elemental as it slams downward into what looks like this doorway, expelling you back out onto the platform outside the ziggurat.
It's auto fail.
And with that, we will pick up with Rodrick next week.
That's so whack.
Oh man.
As now 2 out of 3 of the trials thus far have been failed by the 4 horsemen.
Just a sumo
Wait.
battle like that? What a
That
lame.
means you passed.
Oh, 2. Ah, I miss. You failed?
Unfortunately,
No way.
as a guardian, you must learn when to ride the currents and when to carve your own course. Know when to fight, when to freeze, and when to force your way forward toward your purpose. Unfortunately, this
I followed
time
the instructions.
you've been forced back
Yeah.
and
No
outside
way.
of the trial by water.
You're the only one that can do this one.
Yeah, that was pretty whack. I'm done. We're done.
Luckily, that does grant 2 of you guys an opportunity to try each other's trials now. And luckily, part 2, those are basically the only 2 survivable trials.
Oh, thanks for letting me know.
As unfortunately, you do not have an exit in the trial by fire. And Manny, well done. Congratulations on
Awesome.
succeeding. But you did miss out on a bit. I'll say that much. And I am very
Maybe I
curious
could.
to see how things go on proceeding from this point onward. So,
Oh,
with that,
lovely.
are we rolling into a divine inspiration?
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, man.
What do we got,
Commandment,
boys?
Second commandment, right?
Yeah, so it's the 2nd commandment.
Let's go. All right, so that's Exodus where?
I'm doing that one, right?
Oh, we already
Yeah.
went over this largely.
I'm doing that one.
I think
That's right.
Yeah,
No, that's good
This
though.
is good. Yeah, this is the one where we
He
really
was
get into
gonna
differentiating.
Yeah, he was gonna introduce it though.
So where
Yeah,
is
for
where is
sure.
it?
Go ahead and read it off.
All right, David.
Okay, so I have commandment number 2. It says, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and the 4th generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments."
Nice. So
That's
we
a
did
lot
go
more than
over-
when people say it, and it's
Yeah.
just like like one
Correct.
little quick
Yeah.
statement.
We went
Uh,
over the no gods before me aspect, but I think the actual physical idols is an important thing for like what
Yeah.
we see.
So something that I took from this is obviously there's the literal version of, don't make a bronze statue of anything and worship it like they used to do back in the day.
Yep.
But these days, that doesn't happen too often in our culture, us carving statues and worshiping them. But there is something that does happen, which is we actually look at God and change who God actually is
For sure.
to make it suitable for us.
That's good.
So
That's true.
So in this, the way that I'm taking it is, you have to accept God as He is, as He says He is, and as His Word says He is. So when people start changing the things that God says, because God would want me to be happy, or God wouldn't say that I can't do this because this is better for me, in my opinion, you're in fact thus creating a
Changing
distorted
the
image of
image.
God and worshiping that, which is the same thing as worshiping a false idol.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I was
Sorry, can you
looking-
tell me what verse where that was? I was trying to ask that.
Exodus 24 through 6 was the total.
Cool. Thank you.
I saw a couple things on here while researching. Says even good things can become idols if we're not careful. Ministry, hobbies, charity work, or family can usurp the rightful place only God should hold in our lives. When we're emotionally relying on anything other than our relationship with Him to validate us, we're breaking the second commandment. That sums it all up for me. It also says the commandment contains a warning for future generations. God's saying that if we don't deal with idolatry in our generation, we'll be passing it down to our children and their children. I thought that was an interesting thing. When children watch their parents spend time, money, and energy on worldly pursuits, they naturally copy those values and will raise their own children to do the same.
And how significant it is that, and you see in the Bible, in moments of disobedience, that it not just impacts you, it impacts, like you said, generations and generations and generations and generations. So to be taken a little bit more seriously for the sake of your children and their children and their children.
I mean, you can tie that into the whole distorting the image of God thing. Like,
I don't like how often we see that in the church, because I think when most people especially hear the name of Jesus, everyone's got a pretty good idea of what they envision Jesus to look like these days. And there are, different talks about that, and some people will, blasphemously say that, that Jesus is one race over another that is like clearly just not biblical in any way, shape, or form. But the truth is, the image that most of us have of what Jesus looks like in our minds probably still isn't anywhere near accurate, because we're just given images from artists that have passed on through generations through different means, and many churches and many I'll say religions loosely have carved images of Jesus Christ on a cross. They have images of a man healing people with a halo behind his head, and they worship it, they bow to it, they pray to it, and yet nothing in the Bible says that's what Jesus looked like.
Yeah.
So it's a scary thing to think that a lot of people will be trying to do the right thing, and yet by trying to worship God, they're listening to people and not looking to the source, not looking to God himself, who says, don't do that. They're going to mass, and they're sitting down in these services, and they're looking at this figure, and yet not once do these people question whether or not they should be bowing before this figurehead at the front of this church. And I think that's a horrifying thing, that most people who even think that they're doing something for God aren't still pursuing God himself, and they're trusting in people who are unfortunately misleading them. They're those wolves in sheep's clothing. They're people who are clearly and sometimes intentionally leading them astray, and it's going against what God himself is asking of us. So guys, remember, be careful, because at the end of the day, go to the Word of God, go to Scripture, read what God actually has. He has written us letters. He has literally just handed down words from generation to generation of God himself to us as his children in perfect love. I think there's no better way to try to do God's will than to listen to what he himself has to say.
Amen.
Yep.
I think in some ways, you almost you start with like a sort of a, I don't know, like it gets wider and wider, and I think all these other things fall like an umbrella. There we go. That's what I was getting at. A lot of the later commandments can really fall under the umbrella of earlier ones. Like it starts to encompass all of them. That's why, especially the first two, like you see a lot of commonality between like how they function, because the first priority is just put God first, right? And then below that you'll get like all the, like a little bit more specific with like don't do carved images. I think we also jumped in with what David was saying, which we'll get back to this. Is it next week? Yeah. You should not take the Lord's name in vain. I have a whole thing on how I think that works, but I think this twisting of like what we think God is and creating a different image of him falls into that same category where you're creating a powerless version of God that is not his true person. And then to touch on what Nick was saying, that there's actually kind of all of us like that we make this. It's good to take the spirit of what's being said here and try to apply it as much as you can to all of your life. But I think even just the very basic forms are still really relevant. I think there are still things that we carve, not necessarily like anybody at this table, but I think it's very common for people to like carve things that they think have power, right? And I think Tristan kind of touched on that here with like the idea that we have like paintings of Jesus and stuff like that. Of course, there's like Santeria and all that stuff where people will actually have like a worship of the saints, and they'll have images of angels and saints, and they worship that. Crystals, right? That's a whole thing where people actually take like carved crystals, and they think that adds some kind of power to whatever, and they might still think that they're Christian too. So these pitfalls that are given as warnings to the people of God are sure, like they're things that the world falls into, but even within the church, you still see some of that stuff entering.
Oh yeah.
Everything I just mentioned is stuff that I know Christians that have done. So
Yeah.
it's never become any less relevant. You know, like these are still problems to this day.
For sure.
Yeah, I was reading a book saying pretty much everyone, well, we're all sinners, and everyone breaks every commandment. You know, maybe not on a daily basis, but we've all broken every commandment, and just great that we serve a graceful God and a good God that died for our sins and gave His blood to, you know, redeem us from sin.
Yeah, well, that's actually part of what Jesus said, that the law was written to pretty much serve as a mirror so that we can see how unworthy we are of actually doing this. Because if you have a negative thought against your brother, you've already committed murder.
Yep.
You know?
Which is exactly the spirit of the law that you guys were talking about. I wasn't trying to knock that. Like, that's completely correct. Like, if you just look at a woman the wrong way, that you're committing adultery in your heart. If you just, you know, hate your brother, you're committing murder in your heart. Like, you have done, like you said, like, all the 10 Commandments. We break them all.
Luckily,
We are the unfaithful bride.
Yeah, luckily we're past that with the new covenant, and for those listening now, Jesus came not to abolish the law but to fulfill it, meaning that He is the completion in all that He has given us in His own sacrifice, in all of His love, in His Holy Spirit, to be able to grant us the ability to overcome those things by the Spirit of God, and not just fight those things better here on this earth, but rather in judgment be able to look to God and not have to do so in shame, because we are covered by the blood of Christ Jesus, who died as a way to purify us, as a way to say, hey, it's okay, I've got them covered. And so Jesus Himself, in all of His holiness, is able to now kind of act as a lens in which we are to be viewed by God, in which we are now made holy, so that not only are we now forgiven by the blood of Jesus Christ and by Christ Himself, but that we are to be made even better one day. And I think that's exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So,
Amen.
That's awesome.
anything else to add, boys?
Yeah.
Then
I think there's anything else to add to that.
I think
That was
that's
awesome.
a beautiful way to wrap up. That being said, guys, we love you. Excited to continue these trials next week with you all.
Yeah.
And God bless. See you then.
See you guys.